Hello everyone, this is Abant Hero. Today we'll be discussing the tutorial on Joestar's cosplay wig styling. And first things you want to start off with is taking a wide tooth comb and essentially combing out the tangles that you might find when unraveling the wig. This one happens to be from Wigs. The essential tools that you'll be needing for this wig styling include a good set of scissors, a basic split style comb, freezing hairspray from the Got2b brand I happen to use, an electric clipper, this brand happens to be Wall, and pomade for getting out tangles. Once you get rid of all the tangles, you want to start by making basic measurements to get proportions right. You want to measure from the top of the scalp all the way down to your eyes, and measure from the side top of the scalp down to where your sideburns end, essentially to cover where your actual sideburns are. These are guidelines to follow when using scissors to make more accurate cuts. When making your initial cuts on the wig using a basic set of scissors and a comb, you want to start by combing out a small section of hair in an inconspicuous area. That way you get a feel of how things work. Once you measure out a section of hair at the desired length according to the measurements you made prior, you can start by cutting at the top of your fingertips in a zigzag or random pattern. At certain times the hair gets clumped up in between your fingers, which you can fix by fanning out and trimming in a spaced out pattern. You want to avoid making straight cuts across as they look too uniform and end up resulting in a boxy look or a speckled look that shows when hair's combed in a certain direction. For the sides of the wig, you especially need to pay attention not to cut straight across your fingertips when fanning out the hairs. Trim more in a random pattern so as not to get clumps when they lay flat and show more visibly. As an alternative to electric clippers, you can use thinning shears, which essentially look like a set of scissors, but one of the blades is actually a sharpened comb. For the back portion of the wig, which is essentially the base of the skull, I approached by placing the wig on my head and using a two-mirror system with the electric shears as opposed to the basic scissors and comb. And I went with this route to get a more natural look, as the fibers itself have the sections that show a little bit more exaggerated when you're using basic scissors and a comb. But for the sake of time, I went with the electric clippers. Once all the trimming and cutting is done, you can proceed by shaking out the wig or giving it a light rinse. A basic tip to go by is, when in doubt, always leave longer hair strands to trim later. I had difficulty when working with the wig. To counteract this, I had to use bobby pins to separate each section of the hairs, with some help of hair ties and rubber bands to train them in such a way. Freeze spray was used in addition to these techniques in order to sustain the hold and train it further. I opted to skip using a hairnet as I tend to get headaches from wearing it for an extended period of time. Continuing with the Got2b line, I decided to use the styling putty or a pomade product. What I found useful was holding a reference picture up to the reflection in the mirror in order to alleviate the styling process and get every angle right. I began by twisting sections of hair with my fingertips to manipulate in a desired position. I checked different angles to see if there were any high points or low points that I needed to lay flat or essentially perk up a little bit more. My preference in wig styling happens to be one that's a little bit more realistic looking, as opposed to the more chunky and really polished look of certain wig styling. You can choose to do it any which way you'd like, but this is the route that I took. I really want to thank you guys for responding to my videos, leaving me your comments of things that you liked and things that you want to try on your own. And this is something that I really love, and I love sharing with you guys. I try my best and spend several hours in making it as best as possible. I love entertainment and I love interacting with you guys, and I want to create something that means something to you all. And if I can do that, I would be so grateful. Happy cosplaying, keep on dancing, and I'll see you next time.